Welcome to the newest stories playlist of The Lord of the Rings. Beginning on chapter 1. Chapter 1, A Long Expected Party. When Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bag announced that he would shortly be celebrating his 11st birthday with a party, a special magnificence, there was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton. Bilbo was very rich and very peculiar and had been the wonder of the Shire for 60 years. Ever since his remarkable disappearance and unexpected return, the riches had brought back from his travels and had become a local legend, and it was popularly believed, whatever the old fool might say, hey, that the hill of Bag End was full of tunnels stuffed with treasure. And if that was not enough for fame, there was also his prolonged vigor to marvel at. Time wore on, but it seemed to have a little effect on Mr. Baggins. At 90, that he was much the same as at 50. At 99, they began to call him well preserved, but unchanged would have been near the mark. There were some that shook their heads and thought this was too much of a good thing. It seemed unfair that anyone should possess, apparently, perpetual, useful, reputedly inexhaustible wealth. It will have to be paid for, they said. It isn't natural, and trouble will come of it. But so far trouble had not come. And as Mr. Baggins was generous with his money, most people were willing to forgive him his oddities and his good fortune. He remained on visiting terms with his relatives, except, of course, the Sackville Bagginses. And he had many devoted admirers among the hobbits of poor and important families, but he had no close friends until some of his younger cousins grew up. The eldest of these, and Bilbo's favorite, was young Frodo Baggins. When Bilbo was 99 and adopted Frodo's hair, and Fod brought him to live at Bag End, and the hopes of the Sackville Bagginses were finally dashed. Bilbo and Frodo happened to have the same birthday, September 22nd. You had better come and live here, Frodo, my dad said Bilbo one day. And then we can celebrate our birthday parties comfortably together. At the time, Frodo was still in his tweens, as the hobbits called the irresponsible 20s, between childhood and the coming of age 33. 12 more years passed. Each year, the Baggins sisters have given very little combined birthday parties at Bag End. But now it was understood that something quite essential was being planned for that autumn. Bilbo was going to be 111. A rather curious number, a very respectable age for a hobbit. The old Tuck himself had only reached 130. That's a century and 3 decades, and Frodo was going to be 33. 33. An important number at the date of it. The date of his coming of age. Tongues begin to wag in Hobbiton and Bywater, and rumor of the coming event traveled over the Shire. The history and character of Mr. Bilbo Baggins became once again the chief of the topic of conversation, and the older son they found the reminiscences in welcomed man. No one had a more attended audience than old Gimli. He, commonly known as the Gaffer, he held forth at the Ivy Bush, a small inn on the Bywater Road, and he spoke with some authority, where he had tended the garden at Baghead for 40 years, and had held the growing old and stiff in the joints. The job was mainly carried by his youngest son, Sam Gamgee. Both father and son were still on very friendly terms with Bilbo and Frodo. They lived on the hill itself, in number 3 Bagshot. Just below Bag End. A very nice, well-spoken gentleman is Mr. Bilbo, as I've also said, the Gaffer declared. With perfect truth? For Bilbo was very polite to him. Go him, Master Hamfast, and consulting him constantly upon the growing vegetables. In the matter of roots, especially potatoes, the Gaffer was recognized as the leading authority by all in the neighborhood, including himself. But what about this Frodo that lives with him? Asks old Noakes of Bywater. Bangs is his name, but he's more than a half a brandy buck, they say. It beats me why any Baggins of Hobbiton should go looking for a wife away there in Buckland, where folks are so queer. And no wonder they're queer, but and Daddy Twofoot, the Gaffer's next door neighbor, if they live on the wrong side of the Brandywine River, and right again in the Old Forest. That's a dark, bad place if half the tales come true. You're right, Dad, said the Gaffer. Not the brandy bucks. A buckler live in the Old Forest. But they're a queer, sweet. Even the full about it's in the big river, and that isn't natural. Small wonder that trouble came of it, I say. But be that as it may, much like Mr. Bilbo, and in more than Lux, after all his father was a Baggins, the decent, respectable hobbit was Mr. Drogo Baggins. There's never much to tell of him. till he still drowned. Drowned? Said several voices. They had. If you don't know what drowned means, look it up. Could be a portmanteau of the words drown and grounded or something. Andrew's doors. They had heard this and other darker rumors, of course, but of its a passion for family history. And they were ready to hear it again. Well, so they say, said the Gaffer. You see, Mr. Drogo, he had married Mrs. Prula Brandybach. She was our Mr. Bilbo's first cousin, on the mother's side, her mother being the youngest of the old Tuck's daughters, and Mr. Drogo was his second cousin. So Mr. Frodo is his first and second cousin. Once removed either way, as the saying is, if you follow me. And Mr. Drogo was staying at Brandy Hall, where his father-in-law, old Master Gorboldoc, as often did after his marriage, him being partial to his victuals, and old Gorboldoc keeping a mighty generous table, and he went out boating on the Brandywine River, and he and his wife were drowned, and poor Mr. Frodo, only a child and all. I've heard that they went on the water after dinner on the moonlight, said Sir Earl Noakes. And it was Drogo's way as sung the boat. And I heard she pushed him in, and he pulled her after him, said Sandy Man, the Hobbiton Miller. You shouldn't listen to all you hear, Sandyman, said the Gaffer. You hooted not, much like the miller. You shouldn't listen to all you hear, Sandyman, said the Gaffer. I mean,